And welcome back to the Saturday Club podcast. I'm your host, Brandon Smith, alongside my brother in arm, Jerry Drummond. Chris will not be able to join us for this episode, unfortunately, but he will be on the content that we will be producing at Clemson this upcoming week. So look forward to that. But we'll just get right into it. So, week 0. We got our little appetizer. We got our little charcuterie board. What are your thoughts? How was it a good show? Did we get some salami? Did we get some prosciutto? Did we get some cheddar?
The stuff you're mentioning is a little too fancy for a guy like me, but I do love a nice charcuterie board. Here's my thing with week 0. Football is football, right? You know, it's fun to watch, and hearing people find ways to complain about week 0, kind of communist to me. Sorry. My only complaint about week 0 is why are we playing games in Europe?
Especially when you have one game and you can't figure out how to maintain a field. Dude, it couldn't be us.
Yeah. I don't know if soccer uses I think they use a different kind of grass than football does, but it's embarrassing to not just the Big 12, not to the sport of football, but the entire country of America, the United States of America, that, Europe is just putting our favorite sport, our best sport, on that bad of grass. And not only was that game the first game of the college football calendar, it was a big game in the Big 12. And we have, for lack of a better word, clowns in Europe trying to sabotage our great game.
I mean, that might have decided – you never know. It could have decided the Big 12 race.
That's what I'm saying, dude. That legit could decide who plays in Arlington. And the fact that game was overseas was stupid. I don't know why they did that. I don't know why they did Georgia Tech and Florida State last year. Granted, that game had no impact on the ACC standings, but why are you playing a conference game back-to-back years in Europe? Wait, no. Ireland is still in Europe. They're not a part of the EU, I think. I don't know. That's politics. I don't talk about that.
Yeah, we don't do that. Not that time of year. But, yeah, no, I'd say kind of like you were saying, I don't understand why we're having these conference games overseas. I think it's a cool idea. I know TCU, UNC are doing it next year, not a conference game.
Yeah, but it's why? This isn't the NFL where you have thousands of fans. You saw the thing where they went around Ireland asking them how much a touchdown was worth. And those guys don't know. They're too busy drinking Guinness. So it's respect, but it's I don't know when has college football ever been a universal sport? It's always has.
I don't think it ever will be.
Exactly.
I don't think it ever will be, but that's fine. It doesn't have to be.
No, we like it. What if they played the dang championship game? I don't know. I think it's determined by points. Liverpool and Chelsea to decide the Premier League, freaking Rock, South Carolina. I don't know. It's a little bit.
That may be lit. That might be a great.
No,
that might be the greatest thing that's ever happened in Rock.
Who in that market? Granted, you have Charlotte. Okay, so let's go to more of a middle of nowhere. I don't want to. I don't know if there's a city you can really compare to Dublin, but you play that game in Fort Worth. Granted, it's close to a lot of people, so it probably would be a big deal. But, I guarantee you 75% of the population in Fort Worth does not care about EPL. The only three other thing I care about is CFB.
That's right.
And God.
God, family, college football?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, like you were saying, Rock Hill hosting the FIFA World Cup. That would be insane.
I think the Rock Hill was a bad analogy, but okay, better one. Okay, you know what? Oklahoma City hosting something like that. That's just my. I don't see the need to grow the college football universally. You're not recruiting kids from Ireland.
No. I guess, I get you want to – the Big 12 can say, oh, look at us. We're making this a global comp. You know what I mean? They're trying to push their brand out there. But at the end of the day, you might turn 5 new people into college football fans. Like it's just not a big impact.
I'm not saying Kansas State wins if they play this game in America or even on a new like. I still think on a neutral site you probably get the same result if they replay that game. But like that 4th and 3 when they call a QB sweep to Avery Johnson, I thought he got it, but there's no way of even knowing because there's no yard lines.
0. I mean, I know they tried to. I think they tried to redo them at halftime. I believe.
At halftime, but it was already so bad.
Like. Yeah. Besides that, I mean, it was a fun game. I enjoyed it.
No, it was a great game, and it was probably one of the better. Just like the magnitude of it was great for a week 0 game, and I thought we saw some great football. It was fun to watch as a fan, and I was just more upset that like you're taking a underrated rivalry game, and you're granted it got a lot more eyeballs this year probably in past years, but you're playing in England or Ireland. Like why?
Yeah, no.
No, I'm sorry. I'm so worked up. It just makes me upset.
No, I'm fine with the non-con games being played there, but like important game like that, and you have all those field issues like that. Like again, that could have decided who plays in Arlington, which is just.
I don't want to guarantee anything, but Kansas State, I don't think. I think I saw enough to where I'm not worried about them. Now, if Dylan Edwards is hurt long term, yes. Like, it's the Big 12, so like you're gonna drop one eventually. But it's like, how do these kids respond? They got to play on Saturday. They just traveled across, halfway across the world. I don't know. I'm glad that's not me.
No, me too. I don't think they got back until like Monday.
But now you're already 2 days behind schedule.
Yeah, that's just
now. Luckily, they're playing like one of them's playing Wagner, the other is playing like North Dakota. So it's not like or South Dakota, because then Iowa State plays Iowa September 6th, and then Kansas State plays Army.
Yeah, I mean, imagine if Kansas State was playing somebody like Georgia Tech this week, like a decent non-con opponent. They'd be you might be going 0-2 there, and
that's what the coaches were saying on the broadcast. They had the meeting with Campbell and Lyman's, or Kleiman, sorry. They were saying they were worried they're not going to be back in rhythm from fall camp until like October because of travel.
How does that just because the time change?
I don't know. I don't know. I've never traveled that far. I don't know, but I'm sure when you went to Hawaii, you were pretty jet lagged for a couple of days.
I mean, it took a good day and a half to kind of get used to it.
So think about that. You played a full football game and you travel back, and then it's like you can't really catch up on your sleep because you got to prepare for the game the next week.
Gosh, thank
God. Iowa State, I think you have easier time to recover because you're 1-0. You play South Dakota. Iowa State, you play South Dakota. So, I'm not saying you take those guys lightly, but you kind of have more, it's easier. You feel a lot better about yourself going on that trip and leaving 1-0 than you do 0-1.
Right. No, I totally agree. I thought one thing that I took away was kind of how that Iowa State offense kind of developed throughout the game. To talk about the game.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're good. I'm kind of on that same wavelength, but the offensive line going from letting up, they let up 3 or 4 sacks within the first.
Yeah, that was
quarters, and then they were moving them at the end of the game, which I thought was kind of like a cool. Hey, we just watched them develop kind of over a span of 2 or 3 hours, which was neat to see. And then those tight ends stepped up big time, and Rocco Beck he made a bunch of plays, just improvising. Thank you. But I think if we had to where do we think, are we adjusting our expectations or what tiers either of these teams are in?
I had a future on Iowa State to win the league and then Utah. So I really was only kind of looking at those two. So Kansas State, I think in the preview I said they were in that tier 1. I don't think I really wholeheartedly believe that, so I probably shouldn't have said it. My apologies to viewers. I think in a one-game setting, I thought Kansas State was going to be the better team. I thought Iowa State was going to be the better team long term. But like watching that game, and you hit the nail on the coffin. Like they wore down Kansas State, and God, what was the Kansas State kid's name? Asusanami, the defensive end.
I will say, did you see his celly after?
Yeah, he like froze.
that was tough.
He was a real game wrecker. That front four was like wow. Like if they play like that week in and week out in the Big 12, that defense, I came away. I mean, not that I was more impressed with Kansas State, but I was impressed with their defense. I was impressed with both defenses, and a lot of the conversation on Twitter was the offenses are so bad. I'm like, I disagree. I thought the defenses were just flat out really playing really good football, and that's usually how it is first couple weeks of the year.
Oh, no, 100%. Yeah, they were definitely dominating the first, like 2.5 quarters probably?
Yeah, I thought Iowa State always plays at 3-3-5, but I'll have to look back and watch it. But I thought they mixed up some fronts really well. I thought they got after Johnson, made him a little uncomfortable. But granted, it's only one game. I think Avery Johnson's box score looked good, but you take away those 2 throws to Brown, and who was the other one? I have it right here. It was Brown and Bradley. So Bradley's the Texas kid.
Where's he from?
He went to Tech, and then I think he went to Boston College. Now he's at Kansas State. But they were what? What's their long? This is bad podcasting. My apologies.
I'm right now. I'm looking. They're long.
Okay, Bradley's was 65. Brown was 37. Yeah. So it's like you take away those 2 throws, it's like almost half his yardage. So like I thought Johnson didn't do. That's why I thought Beck played better. Beck made a dot throw on that slot fade in the red zone the first half. Made another key throw in the red zone the second half, and on that 3rd and 3 on the play action like pop pass. I mean, what a call from Matt Campbell too. But I thought Beck, the way I was watching the game, like obviously the box score Johnson looked great, but Beck really commanded the game really well, and obviously that run game, like that's gonna be a problem. Hansen and Sama are dogs.
Yeah, and I liked how they used him too. They kind of let Sama get the bulk of the carries the first half, and then let kind of Hansen kind of take over after that, which was cool. And that offensive line was like fourth quarter, they were mowing Kansas State's D line.
It reminded me, not to make this about Clemson, but in 23, Clemson played Miami in Miami, and Clemson was dominating the whole game defensively. But like when you're on the field for that long, eventually you wear down, the offensive line wears on you, and they were just leaning on dudes. Like I think they hit a couple counter plays. Like I thought Campbell really did. I don't know who calls the plays at Iowa State, but I thought Campbell did a good job with the run game variation. And then using Hansen, who I think is more of the home run hitter, and then Sama's the kind of power back. But it's always cool to see how teams, split carries. I mean, they got 30 combined carries. Like that's how you draw it up.
And Rocco can run too, which is something.
Yeah, I did not know he could move like that. I figured he could. He was like he had mobility, but I didn't know they would run him like they did.
Yeah, especially at the end of the year too, when it's everything's on the line. It'll be curious to see how they incorporate that into the offense.
Yeah,
I think someone. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say. I mean, maybe you're gonna say it, but like, if I'm to go back where you were saying, if we're gonna readjust our tiers, I still think like it's crazy because the 6 teams that could win this league, like realistically, Tech, TCU, Kansas State, Iowa State, whatever, like. Who has? I think TCU is maybe the only school that can say they have a better quarterback than Rocco Beck.
Yeah.
Okay. No, wait. Arizona State. Sorry.
Okay. Right. Yeah. Outside of Sam Levitt and maybe Josh Hoover, I'm probably taking Rocco Beck.
Dude, like Rocco Beck is a baller. Like
he's good.
He fits Iowa State's like scheme so well. Like it'd be interesting to see him play at a more high profile offense. But
right.
Like. I thought Chase Sowell played pretty well, the kid from ECU, and I thought Townsend made a couple catches.
Eskitson?
Yeah, was he the one that had the catch on like the fade, the left side?
Yeah, he had 3 catches for 46 and the tutty. I thought he stepped up and played nice.
Yeah, and I like what you said on the TikTok we released. Like, follow, and subscribe. But I like what you said how they use the tight ends. I think that's a good point. And like that's like a lost art in today's college football. Everyone wants to go 4 wide or 5 wide and throw around the yard. But like, there's something to be said about getting in 12 personnel and then, run the ball. And hey, we'll throw a play action pass on. I think that was 4th and 3 when they.
That was
ballsy.
Someone cooked.
Yeah.
And I think they finished. Bramer and Burkle finished 2nd and 3rd in catches, I believe. If I'm looking at it right. So yeah, they got weapons, man. I think I like Iowa State a lot.
Yeah, I'm glad I got him at like whatever I got him at. I think it was like 570 plus 570. 570. And honestly, the more I think about it, I may be in attendance for the Big 12 game. So Big 12 championship game. So like I live only 15 minutes away.
Might have to make it.
I think it could be anyone's league. I'm really excited to see the other Big 12 teams play, especially TCU and Utah. They have, and Baylor all play, respectable competition in the Power 5. And then, this is why I think this league is the most fun to follow. You're not gonna have the national champion in this conference, but it's so entertaining.
The parity is just it's next level.
And I thought Kansas State played well. I thought they had a chance to win the game. Do you punt it? I mean, well, there's like 8 minutes left when they went for it. Hindsight 2020.
I mean, you punt it there, and what if that ground game continues to roll?
Yeah, but
turn the clock out, and you don't get a chance.
If I was Kleiman's, it is Chris Kleiman's, right? I'm pronouncing that right?
Chris Kleiman?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'm like,
damn,
long day. Sorry. If I'm Chris Kleiman, I would rather lose in my defense than because they were playing well. Granted, they were gassed, so maybe it was the right time to go for it there. But it's like, I don't know. I don't know if I like the play call there.
I thought the play call was fine. I think his effort,
early.
Avery, I don't know why he turned his back like that. He should have extended or something. Like you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage. I didn't like that he did that. I think you got to make more of an effort to try and extend and get the pylon, especially since you don't know where it's at. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to see where the hash or what, you know what I mean?
You couldn't see where the yard line was at all.
So I didn't love that. I thought the play call was fine. It's just the effort was kind of like, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I guess hindsight's 2020, but
yeah, no, great game overall. Do you have any other thoughts? Anything that you took away from it that you want to go over? Or?
No, I thought we did a good job. I mean, the only other game I think that was worth a watch. I mean, I thought Kansas looked good.
Yeah, I think. I mean, should we have Kansas maybe in that tier of, hey, they could kind of maybe can contend?
As long as Daniel stays healthy, I think, yeah, but I don't know. I don't want to overreact when you play Fresno State. No disrespect. I thought he looked really good, and then when they're all healthy and they're out, they fly around, they play fast. But I want to see him play a few more Big 12 games. But I think they can make that jump to maybe tier 2.5.
Yeah, they got Missouri in 2 weeks, so that'll be.
We'll find out quick.
I think that'll be a good test.
I think Missouri's got a good defense this year. They got to figure out quarterback, but
Bo Pribula.
Yeah, but they haven't named the starter yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but I mean, if we want to touch on this game, I thought Stanford Hawaii was a quintessential Week 0 game.
I'm not gonna lie, I did not cut on until about end of the third quarter.
You see the pick?
That pick was.
I got to see this kid's name, dude. This kid was a game wrecker all night.
He had the big fro, didn't he?
Yeah, he had a couple sacks. Let me see. Stand by. Sorry, this is bad podcasting too. I can't even pronounce it. Mendula Jensen.
Kalani Mendiola Jensen.
Yeah, you're used to seeing all these names more than I am, being an Oregon fan. So I thought he was a game wrecker. I thought also Stanford, dude.
What? Talk about a fall from grace, bro.
they got to. I thought Ford can play.
No, he's a good.
Michael Ford's a dog. Michael Ford's a good player.
He's a good P4 back.
But they don't like. I thought that the pick. You know the pick I'm talking about, where they ran like the play action pass and they slid the tight end. Are they? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I
You
think
just
so.
had they just gashed Iowa or Hawaii for 3 straight runs, and then you're like, I get going play action pass there, but why would you not stretch the field vertically rather than horizontally? I just thought it was a bad play call.
Yeah, I don't know if I guess they just don't really trust their receivers. I don't even know who their receivers are,
Dude.
They're so bad. Their leading receiver was their tight end. Oh, they brought in CJ
Holt.
They brought in CJ Williams. I forgot about that from he was at USC, then Wisconsin. Now he's at Stanford. He was a former 4-star at Mater Dei. He was their leading receiver, 3 catches, 30 yards. Yeah, they don't have anybody out wide really.
No, it was just a hard watch.
Dude, Bengal Branson. I mean, if you can't even win the Oregon State job and you're the Stanford starting quarterback.
Well, they did get Malik Murphy.
This is true. God, do they? Let's look at their schedule real quick. I want to see.
Yeah, this would be a fun game. Do they get to 3.5 wins?
Do they get there? Okay, BYU, that's a loss. Boston College, that's
Pops up.
Probably. Virginia's a loss. San Jose State, they might be able to win that.
All right, so they're at. We'll give them 2 wins right now. Then look at the rest.
SMU loss. Florida State loss. Miami loss. Pitt loss. UNC at UNC loss. First Cal
maybe
might be able to get that. Notre Dame loss. Nope. So that's what 3.
They needed this game to make that over.
They needed that, the Hawaii game.
Mm-hmm.
God. And Frank Reich's only there for a year, right? He's leaving.
Dude, I don't know what. I'm not going to question Andrew Luck, but why would you hire a guy just for 1 year? I get it was late in the cycle. I thought Troy Taylor was not a bad coach. They were competitive last year-ish.
Yeah, he was fine. They were recruiting decently too.
It's a hard place to recruit to.
100%. Why they got rid of him because it was some scandal or something, wasn't it?
Oh, really? I didn't know that. Sorry. I think why would you fire David Shaw?
Yeah, I think that's kind of when the downturn started to happen, and they just don't. They don't care. They don't use any money. So I guess whatever. Just care about your academics, nothing else. But, any other thoughts on Week 0 games?
No, dude. Let's break down the main course.
Yes, the main course here, the steak dinner, the potatoes. Okay. All right, we can get started on the Thursday action. Which do you want to? We can start off with NC State ECU.
Yeah, I'll see that. That's a nice little fun little rivalry.
Yeah, 100%. That one is at Carter Finley. 7:00 kick. NC State is a 13-point favorite as of now. What do we think? Kind of initial thoughts on this one.
Oh. What bowl game that was?
You're lagging, sir.
I am.
Yeah, a little bit.
I better now.
A little bit. Let me talk for a little bit, and while it updates, it's kind of fuzzy looking.
You hate me. Come back.
Huh?
Should I leave and come?
You might need to
try
and can you do that?
Yeah.
Well, so we can talk. I'll talk about NC State. Oh, there we are
on my iPad.
Okay,
just better.
Yes, that's better. So yeah, ECU, NC State. Kind of our initial thoughts on this one.
He's one of the better quarterbacks in the ACC. I think he's easily top 4 in the league. I like him. This will be an interesting game just because how last year ended with the ball.
Oh gosh, you're lagging again.
Oh my god. What is this? Is not good. All right, look now. How about
Still kind of.
Oh my gosh.
Like, we're gonna pretend like this didn't happen.
All right. Am I still at?
Okay. It looks like it's being filmed on like a Nintendo or something.
I'm sure my camera. All right, can you hear my voice?
It's like coming in and out.
Now.
Say something.
DJ Bailey.
Okay, yeah, I think you're good now.
Okay. This is not good podcasting. So sorry. Yeah, I think CJ Bailey's right in that tier. Like Cade Klubnik, Kevin Jennings, Carson Beck. I like me some CJ Bailey. What's going to be interesting, I want to see NC State replaces the production of Casey Casagion. I know it was that productive last year, but it's still a key piece of their offense. They moved him around a lot, so I'm interested to see that. And then for ECU, they get Hauser back, who's like the returning quarterback. They run the veer and shoot. They like to run the ball, like to play fast. And I want to see how NC State plays without Tony Gibson as their DC. I know they got a guy from Baylor, so I think there'd be that Aranda tree. So I still suspect the 3-3-5 principles. But it should be interesting.
No, 100%. I know this is a good game. This was the season opener for them 2022. 2022, yep. That was at EC. That was a fun one. I like CJ Bailey. I think he's going to have that second-year bump. He's a talented guy. I mean, obviously, they're both coordinators are getting replaced, so that's going to be interesting to see what they're running and how they look. Probably going to see a lot of basic looks and whatnot. I think NC State will end up winning. I think it's going to be closer than they want, even though they lost a ton of people. I think they're going to stick around in this. It's a rivalry game. They're going to be fired up. I know it's at Carter Finley, but I could see it kind of going out like 31-17, something like that.
That'd be a cover.
That'd be a cover. I think it's going to be close in the first half, and then NC State probably run away with it a little bit. I'm curious to see how Noah Rogers, Terrell Anderson, some of those kind of talented guys they got, see what they look like second year in the program. And yeah, they got some decent
former walk-on, right?
Who?
Wasn't Terrell Anderson a former walk-on?
He was a 4-star.
Who's the former walk-on? I'm tripping. Never mind. Yeah, Noah Rogers. I forgot about him too. Ohio State transfer. Should be interesting to see. I mean, he's probably their WR1 now, right?
Yeah, him and Grimes, I believe.
Oh, the kid from Wake Forest.
Yeah, from Wake. I know. I honestly, I think their best player is probably Hollywood Smothers.
Oh yeah, Smothers is a good player. Yeah, but just see how they call plays with Roper now as the OC. I know he's more. I want to say he's more. No huddle, I think.
Is he more no huddle?
I haven't really read that much about him, but who was there? Oh, Anai. Dang, I like the Robert Anai.
Yeah, I think he kind of got a bad rap just because Brennan Armstrong could not throw the ball, and then Grayson McCall. We know all what happened there.
Yeah.
So I think he got a bad drag with those two, but yeah, I think it'll be an interesting game. Both teams will be fired up to play it. Dave Doran's you gotta win this game, dude. This is a gimme. But yeah, it'll be interesting. I think it's a good little kickoff for the week. Who else we want to go over here on Thursday?
South Florida, Boise State.
Boise State, South Florida.
Yeah.
That one is at South Florida, right?
Yeah, it's at 5:30.
Shoot. So Boise State's minus 5.5. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know much about anything about South Florida.
All right. I took South Florida to win the American at plus 800.
Okay.
I'm blanking on their coach, Alex. Alex Gresh, I think's his name. I'm so bad. Yeah, Alex Gresh. They get Byron Brown back from injury. I think he's one of the better quarterbacks in the American. The only reason why I like this line is you have a Boise State team coming down to South Florida. We all know how that's going to go. You got to replace Genty, obviously. So that's my thought. That's my logic right now. Is you get a colder weather. Granted, it's probably hot in Boise, like 70s, 80s. But like, dude, Tampa is different. It's gonna be humid. I think South Florida, they run the veer and shoot too. They're all off the hypo tree. So it'll be interesting to see what their play count is. If their play count in the first half's like near 50, I think Boise State's gonna be in trouble in the second half. Matson's back for Boise State. Don't know too much other than that about Boise State, but I just like South Florida as my sleeper G5 team. I'm not saying they make the playoff, but I think they can ruin some of the dreams in the American.
I like that. I see I'm looking at the depth chart. Chaz Nimrod. I did not know that South Florida. That's a good pull for them.
If you're South Florida, this is what you do. You just get all the Miami rejects.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Dude, recruit. If you get the second-tier kids in the Tampa area, Miami area, you could literally go win the American.
Oh, 100%. I mean, that's who Tulane's probably the only other team that could.
Memphis
and Tulane are probably the only other teams that can get that type of talent. So, I mean.
UTSA, maybe. That's kind of far.
Yeah, I like that pick. They were what, plus 800 to win it?
Plus 800. It's gone to like 650.
So you better hop on now.
Yeah. I like Alex Gresh. I think he's a good play caller. The problem with that veer and shoot is it's all about timing. So I don't know if, being in the first game of the year, I don't know how efficient they're going to be, but I think they got to play. I think they got to play Miami. They got to play Florida too, I think. So there's, God, this is also, I'm sorry, dude. I'm like stimming.
This is awesome.
Okay. They could be 0-3 realistically by September 20th. They play Florida and Miami back to back.
That's tough.
But that's not an American game, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. Yeah, I'll probably tune in for that one. I have that on the that's at what, 5:30?
Well, it's going to be a standalone game, so you better have your main TV.
Oh yeah, it's on the main.
Thank you.
Let's see. Any other thoughts on that one?
No, let's go Nebraska.
Let me pull it up. See what the line is right here. This is bad podcasting. It is minus 6.5 for Nebraska. My kind of first thoughts, curious to see that year 2 jump for Dylan Raiola.
Yep.
He's got Dane Key.
Dane Key, good player.
Not talked about transfer portal edition. They also brought in a couple offensive linemen from some bigger schools as well. So I think curious to see how that offense looks. And I know they lost the defense coordinator to Florida State, so obviously installing a new system there. They just promoted from within. Okay, was it like the linebackers coach or?
Yeah, sorry, I heard it on Andy and Ari today.
Great podcast, by the way.
Great podcast.
Ads, but definitely go listen to them. I like Nebraska minus 6.5. I think this is a good kind of like, what people have seen from Matt Rule year 3, that year 3 jump at every stop he's been. I think that might be something that truly does happen. I'm going to ride with Nebraska. I'll take them minus the points.
I like it. I just don't know if I could. Are you like actually going to bet that or just?
If I do bet it, it'll be not a lot of units. Let's just put it that way. It'll be just so I can have some skin in the game.
Yeah. They got Sorsby back, I think, right?
Yes.
Yeah, they got Sorsby back. Oh, God. Satterfield's on the hot seat.
It's neutral site, Arrowhead Stadium.
I think Cincinnati makes the game close. I think they muck it up a little bit. And then I think Nebraska wins, but I think Cincinnati finds a way to muck it up and make it look, 24-21, 24-17. That would still cash your bet. I don't know. I lean Cincinnati here.
Okay, I like that.
I want to see Raiola be a little more mobile.
Yeah, that's fair. Who's their OC?
Nebraska's?
Yeah.
Dana Olgerson.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I like that.
I think long term they're going to be an explosive offense, just like right out of the gate. I don't know.
I'm curious. Maybe that downfield passing attack evolves a little bit. I know he likes.
Well, Dan Key especially.
100%. I know it's a terrible podcasting, but I just want to see Give me 1 sec. Looks like they brought in another transfer as well. Oh yeah, like Elijah Pritchett from Alabama. I think that was a big addition. They brought in Cal's top receiver. Yeah, I'm excited to see what they look like. But they brought in Dastin McCullough from Oklahoma too at edge. Yeah, this is kind of like, I wouldn't say there's definitely pressure on Matt Rule this year. It's like, okay, year 3, we kind of want to contend maybe for a playoff spot. So obviously, I don't think he's on the hot seat or anything, but I think there's just some pressure there to be like, okay, let's see that next step be taken.
Yeah. You want to go to Auburn Baylor?
So the line we got looks like it's at Auburn -2.5, I believe.
Yep. I like Baylor in this one. I think one of the teams that win as well. I like playing back at the quarterback and like a running back right from Washington. Baylor has a better defensive line day outside Texas Tech and Utah. The interior defensive line. And I hope I'm wrong. I just don't. Week 1 out of the gate, he's going to be some offense putting points all over the board. I mean, Hugh Freeze already they can play all 3 quarterbacks.
I'm not gonna lie, you were very breaking up the last 45 seconds.
God, I'm gonna turn my camera off. All right. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
All right. I'll keep for it. I like what Baylor returns with Roberts at quarterback, Bryce. That. And most of this is because I just don't trust Auburn to be, obviously, with most of these teams, a complete product by week 1. So it's not me really picking Baylor. It's just me fading Auburn.
I got you. I'm leaning Auburn here. I'm curious to see what that receiver core looks like.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably one of the better receiving cores in the SEC.
Dude, yeah, Singleton and Coleman. I don't know who Baylor has to match up with them.
Dude, Josh Cameron, dude.
See that guy?
For Baylor, yeah.
I also want to see – I know some people have been talking about how Baylor's a little bit undersized up front. Auburn's supposed to have a pretty decent offensive line. So is that something where Baylor gets pushed around a little bit? I don't know. I know it obviously helps them that they're at home. They're going to be fired up to play a SEC opponent. I like some of the portal pieces they added on defense and offense. I'm gonna take Auburn though. I think Hugh Freeze will be able to get Jackson Arnold rolling a little bit, get him kind of into the groove of the game, get those playmakers the ball on the outside, and I think Auburn squeaks out a win. So I'm going to take them -2.5 on that.
I'm going to take the under as well.
What is the under at?
57.5.
Ooh, I like that too.
I think it's a rock fight.
Yeah, Randa will have them ready, and he knows what he's doing on that side of the ball.
I also think I may talk myself out of not picking Baylor. Falk at Auburn, Keldrick Falk.
Dog.
I don't know how you block him if you're Baylor.
That's gonna be tough.
So I just picked. Now I'm lost. Now I'm cooked. I just talked myself out of not picking Baylor.
So were you taking Auburn now?
No, I probably still. For the graphic, I'll stick with Baylor.
I like that. Yeah, I think it's also most of these starters are guys that they've kind of brought up through the ranks. So I mean that tells you that they're confident in who they got on defense for Auburn. But yeah, so I'll take Auburn on that, and I like the under as well. But do we want to go over Georgia Tech, Colorado to finish up Friday, or do you want to go?
Yeah. Georgia Tech. I like Georgia Tech. Lots been made about Colorado. We're gonna find out quick if Colorado is good in the trenches. We're gonna find out with Haynes King and that Jamal Haynes, that 1-2 punch at running back and quarterback. They run Haynes King like literally feels like he's going to die after every game. I think Tech. Let's see, they're -5. I'll take Tech -5.
Yeah, I think on the road, obviously, week one's a little tough, but I think Georgia Tech's probably got better guys on both lines of scrimmage, and we know what we're getting out of Haynes King and Jamal Haynes.
Yeah, I'm also interested to see, like, does Juju Lewis play, or will be Salter the whole way?
Have they said anything about a starter?
No, I think it'll be Salter, and then you'll see Lewis play some.
I mean, you know the saying.
You got 2 quarterbacks, you got no quarterbacks.
I don't know if I like that, but yeah, I'll probably go Georgia Tech too, whatever the spread is. I think it was, what do you say, 5.5?
5, yeah.
5, yeah, I'll take Georgia Tech. So we're agreement on that one. I think that's a good, interesting game. But that does it for Friday. Saturday, the main event. You want to talk about Texas, Ohio State?
Yeah, I've gone back and forth on this game too. My heart wants to pick Texas. Colin Simmons, Anthony Hill, Muhammad. I mean, they got Taft, they got dudes, but then they did a good job of limiting Jeremiah Smith in the Cotton Bowl, but then Cornell Tate got loose. I think it's a similar game. I think they do a good job of limiting Jeremiah Smith. I still think he makes 2 or 3 big plays. I can't do it. I'm leaning Ohio State more and more I think about it, but I'll probably stick with Texas because I like their team as a whole more. I like Colin Simmons a lot.
Yeah, this one's interesting. A lot of new pieces. I think they're both in the 80th in the country, around that range for returning production. Still tons of talent on both sides of the ball. You could argue 2 of the most talented rosters in the sport.
Oh, yeah.
I really am curious to see. I think the only question I have that is kind of like not making me too confident about my pick is, what does Texas's interior defensive line look like? I know they had to bring in Travis Shaw, Hero Canoe, Brevard from Purdue.
Kid from Syracuse.
And the kid from Syracuse. That's a little alarming if you're asking me. Just that's a lot of new faces.
Especially for a team that recruits as well as Texas does.
Yeah, especially for Texas. You should be having some guys that you can kind of plug in there. That gives me a little pause. We know what they got on the outside with Moore, Simmons, Hill's a dog. I think it's going to be a fun game. It's going to be a lot of freaking talented guys that are going to be playing on Sundays, going at it, kind of earning their stripes. I'm going to lean Texas. I think Arch and Sark will be able to figure out get enough plays to win that game. I think it's going to be close. It's going to be tight down the wire. But I'll go Texas.
Yeah, I'll go Texas too, I guess. I already said that, but.
So both Texas on that. I'm just going to take money line.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to mess with the spread. But so cool. So that one, then we got – you want to go Syracuse versus Tennessee?
Yeah, you talk about you don't know who you're going to expect from either of these teams, both starting transfer quarterbacks. I think Tennessee wins the game. I think it's closer than 13.5, 14.
Yeah, was Syracuse last year just the culmination of easy schedule, like obviously replacing McCord, who was a big part of that success last year. I'm not super high on Tennessee, though. Like, Heupel's offense is fun, but it's like, I don't know. I'm not like the biggest fan of it.
I think Aguilar will put up better numbers than Nico did last year.
Yeah. He's what? He started 2 or 3 years, so he's got the experience. They do. Samson being gone's huge. That's going to be tough to replace his production in the O-line that they lost. 14 is a big number. That one's in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
I might go Syracuse just because that's a big number. Week 1. I'll take Syracuse plus the points.
Nice. We're on the same. I don't think I'll bet that, but.
No, yeah, that'll be on the side TV. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, we can move on. Let's touch on Alabama, Florida State.
Oof.
Here.
This has a recipe. This has a recipe to be a disaster. Yeah, I don't want to jinx it for the Alabama fans out there. If I was a Florida State fan, I'd be dreading Saturday.
Yeah, I think Florida State is going to be improved this year. I like Thomas Castellanos in the Malzahn offense. I think they'll be fun to watch. Week 1 versus again another team that has arguably one of the best rosters in the sport. So that's a tough matchup.
I think it's obviously I don't like Florida State. I don't like Mike Norvell. Whatever. I think this is how the game script goes in my mind. In my offensively brilliant mind, I love the game. Whatever. Oh, Grubbs is back. I totally forgot. I think Ty Simpson starts out a little rocky. 2 for 7-ish, like first couple of drives. And then they don't have Jam Miller's out. So you got to plug and play running back. But then again, you have dudes at receiver. Ryan Williams, Isaiah Horn, Bernard's back. So I think eventually they'll get it cooking. But I think first quarter, I wouldn't be shocked if it was like 7-7 at the end of the first quarter.
Yeah, I could see that.
I think Florida State gets a cheap touchdown, maybe like a blown coverage or a Castellanos or Castellano, whatever. Not Nick Castellanos. Thomas Castellanos, play breaks down, he scrambles and scores. Like a fluky, a non-repeatable play.
Yeah, I think the mismatch here is probably Florida State's D-line versus Alabama's O-line.
You could flip it, too. I think Bama's defensive line versus Florida State's offensive line, too.
I think it's just going to be one of the –
good luck trying to block Overton. Oh, yeah, here's Lawson blitzing up the A-gap.
Yeah, like you said, Florida State could probably get away with like a fluky, scheming up touchdown in the beginning. And then once the game starts kind of getting into rhythm, both those lines of scrimmage just start dominating. Alabama's more physical, better athletes. You just look at the depth chart for Florida State. It is all transfers.
So yeah, I just don't know. I know Norvell's a good coach, but I think his one flack, if you ask Florida State fans, is like his lack of ability to recruit in high school. And
100%.
like it's all fun and it's fun to get the transfers. Like Clemson just got a couple 3 transfers this off season. I'm like they're instant starters, whatever. But it doesn't really work like that. If you got to go and plug a bunch of holes with transfers, it's usually not a good sign. Like I
No.
get getting a piece here, a piece there, but if you got to get 3 defensive linemen, 4 offensive linemen, like that's not a recipe to end up in Charlotte if you're Florida State. They may end up in Charlotte playing the Duke's Mayo's Bowl, but I don't think they're going to be playing for the AC Championship.
No, 100% not. I mean, I don't think they're going to be as bad as they were last year, but
well, who knows?
Yeah, that would be us. I mean, if they're as bad as they are last year, you got to think Norvell's gone.
Dude, I think his buyout's too big, but shoot, they may just pay it.
They might. I mean, back to back, like 2-win seasons, bro. Like, Buddy might be out of there. Like, I don't blame him either. Yeah, I think I'm definitely taking Bama minus the points. It's what, 14?
Yeah, that might be a bet one tonight.
Yeah. I'll be curious to see if the line goes up at all. I definitely, if I was betting on it, I'm taking out.
Oh, I'm taking it. I would bet it up to 17.5.
I probably would too.
And DeBoer's going to want to run up the score a little bit.
100% after all the talk from Castellanos. I'd believe it. But yeah, so that kind of wraps up that one. Let's go on to the main event for the night slate. Who was the real Death Valley?
Well, historically, Clemson was named Death Valley first in 1949 by head coach Lonnie McMillan of the Presbyterian Blue Hose. So, win or lose, Clemson's the real Death Valley, whatever. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, so we will all be in attendance for this game. This is like one of those games where like you love college football because of this game. This is exciting. This is what the sport's all about. You got 2 of the premier programs in the country squaring away in a historic venue. I'm super excited. I right now, I can go into my pick right now and I'll explain, but I like Clemson minus, I think it's at 4 right now. I like Clemson to win. The reason being they bring everybody back. Cade's back. I love the receiver room with Antonio Williams and TJ Moore, Wesco. I think that's definitely top 3 receiver room in the country. I also really like bringing in Tom Allen from Penn State. He's one of the better defensive coordinators out there. I think he's been able to install that system. Even though it's week 1, I think they'll be flying around out there. And, yeah, it's hard to bet against guys like P. Woo and Will Helt, one of those transfer portal additions. You just got so much talent up and down the board. I like LSU a lot too. Garrett Nussmeier can sling it. Those portal additions at receiver are big. The defense is going to get better year 2 under Baker. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think that Clemson's just going to be able to kind of win that. It's at home, big advantage. I like Tigers to take the win there. But
yeah, this is the game I've been stressing out all off season. Trying not to think about it until Thursday when I head out on the flight. I will say, I from a game plan perspective, if I'm Garrett Riley, I want to the one game that's is in my mind last year with LSU was the Texas A&M game where Marcel Reed just ran all over LSU with basic read option stuff. I'm not saying Cade Klubnik is that kind of runner, but I think he can still affect the game with his legs. And we saw that against NC State. We saw that a little bit against South Carolina. Obviously, Clemson lost, but still he had 2 rushing touchdowns that game. I think early you'll see Riley dial up some design runs for Klubnik to, test that LSU tackler integrity. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all making tackles and limiting explosive plays. I think Nussmeier is the best quarterback in the country. I think he's a better prospect than Cade Klubnik, but I think Cade Klubnik on that night, Saturday in the Valley, would be a hair better. And I think Clemson gets Nussmeier in some tough situations, maybe some third and longs, and Nussmeier, maybe we just Clemson disguise coverages really well, like Tom Allen's known to do. Nussmeier throws a pick, and Clemson kind of seals it that way. One thing I would be worried about, I am worried about, as a Clemson alum, safety, really concerned outside of Khalil Barnes. LSU loaded up in the portal with Nick Anderson, Barryon Brown, Aaron Anderson's back, and Nussmeier is a gunslinger. So that'd be one thing I'm worried about. And then on LSU's defense, I like Whit Weitz a lot, and I like Harold Perkins. I just don't think Harold Perkins is I think he's a liability in pass coverage. So if I was Garrett Riley, I would try to scheme matchups to where I got Perkins on a Antonio Williams or even a Christian Bettenker or a Olsen Pat Henry. I think not a lot of people are talking about Clemson's tight ends. And then obviously, sorry, this is really long-winded, but I think Adam Randall out of the backfield can make some big plays in the passing game too. So I like what Clemson returns up front. Everyone back except Marcus Tate. And LSU's replacing two really highly drafted tackles on offense. So I think this will be a lower scoring game, but I think Clemson finds a way. I think it's going to be one of those vintage fourth quarter stops that somehow Sweeney's teams find a way, and it'll be in a hype video for years to come. So that's my pick. Sorry.
Oh, I like the explanation. That's probably, I don't know. That's the non-conference game of the year that you circle, and it's like, okay, this has outside of Ohio State, Texas is big, but like LSU, Clemson, that's just one of those matchups at Clemson. You know what I mean? It's just
it's two programs. Yeah, it's two programs that are in similar spots, I think.
Right.
Both want to get back to where they've been. Obviously, I think Clemson's been more consistent than LSU since 2015, I guess, when Clemson started going on a run. But LSU, I mean, that Brian Kelly's going to have, 3 different coaches have won national championships at LSU. And it's Les Miles, Nick Saban, Ed Orgeron. I think Brian Kelly's a better coach than Ed Orgeron. So Brian Kelly's like next in line, so to speak. There's no excuse why you can't win at LSU. I think this is I don't think it's a referendum game like we saw in 23 with Florida State and Clemson. But I think you'll see, I think if Clemson loses this game, I think Clemson has a better ability to bounce back just because of the schedule. If LSU loses, I think it could snowball.
100%. Yeah, LSU's schedule is tough. I think it's fair to say there's more pressure on them to win this game. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, I think, obviously as a Clemson alum, I want Clemson to win, and this is like a one-game season, so to speak. Because you got to be best of one. It's all about one game at a time. But if you look at the rhetoric coming out of both camps or both schools, Brian Kelly is very adamant about we need to win this game. We need to go 1-0. They have the shirts, they have the punching bags, the tiger paws on them. And you hear Dabo Swinney being like, it's all about, you don't make the moment bigger than it really is. And that's always been kind of Swinney's approach. You don't want to make one game bigger than it actually is. But I think internally there definitely is messaging in the Clemson camp. I don't know, but there's going to be a sense of urgency based on how they came out last year and the year before. And then in 21, Clemson in a similar boat to LSU where Clemson hasn't played well in openers. Let's just be honest. It's not as bad as LSU. LSU gifted Florida State a win. They gifted USC a win last year. So, yeah, I would say there's more pressure on LSU, but I still think, I wouldn't say this is a pressure cooker game, where both coaches are feeling the pressure, but I think it's as close as you can get to it.
I like that. Yeah, it's just like Andy and Ari was saying on their podcast, it's one of those kind of lose-lose situations.
Who they pick?
Ari took Clemson and Andy took Clemson.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to spit. Whatever. This game's sick. As I just think there's been a rejuvenation, if that's a word, around the Clemson program this fall. I think you have a guy like Tom Allen who is Brent Venables-esque, and I think you finally have dudes at wide receiver that look like Clemson wide receivers.
Yeah, I think best receiver room since.
I don't want to like put expectations on them, but like the last wide receiver room that was like scary good or like that was like lethal, quote unquote, was probably 2020 with Amari Rodgers and Cornell Powell, which was crazy to even think about. Like those two guys were lighting up people. I think it's right up there with the 2018 one.
Yeah, it's the amount of talent is crazy. Those top.
I think more comps pretty well to T. Higgins, like the more consistent go up and get it 50-50 ball, bigger body receiver. And then there's Wesco's like the Justin Ross, who's just a freaking burner. I'm not saying they're going to be as good as those guys, but I think that's what I would comp those two guys to. Maybe TJ Moore's more like a Mike Williams. I don't know. I think those are pretty fair comps. Wesco is just a freaking burner. I think you throw in Antonio Williams, who no disrespect to Hunter Renfrow. I love Hunter Renfrow, but Antonio Williams is more lethal in the slot than Hunter Renfrow was.
Yeah, I like the fact that they all have different skill sets and bring something new to the table.
Which you didn't see at Clemson.
That's been the big criticism is everybody's been the same body type and skill sets, and now you have that differing skill set, and they're all elite talent guys that are going to probably be high draft picks. So it's exciting, especially to see, kind of like we've talked about Cade's development. He wasn't one of those guys that kind of came out of the chute and was balling out. He's had time to develop. He's kind of on that Bo Nix arc. Take your time. This is third year starting, so let's see it. And I think he's got the talent to do it. So it'll be fun to watch. I'm excited. It's gonna be a hell of a game.
Yeah, I'm excited, nervous, trying not to think about it till Wednesday.
But anything else we want to talk on about?
No, I think you want to hop into Notre Dame. Do you want to do South Carolina, Virginia Tech, or is that kind of I have Carolina winning that one.
Yeah, I like South Carolina too. I think Virginia Tech.
I think Virginia Tech's a lame duck.
Yeah, I think it is just a matter of time before they kind of check out and they're looking for a new head coach. So I like South Carolina as well. And I saw their running back just got cleared to play.
Yes.
So, and I think he's going to be a big weapon for them. So I'll take Carolina. And then we can finish off with Miami, Notre Dame.
Yeah. If Notre Dame started Kenny Michie, I'd probably go Notre Dame. I thought Michie was a better fit to their offense.
It seems like, Denbrock likes having that running quarterback. I don't know if CJ Carr can't run or what his athleticism is, but yeah, he hasn't. Has he played I wonder how many snaps he has. I don't think he's hardly played at all.
I still think I'm picking Notre Dame just because of the continuity and Jeremiah Love. I just want to see Notre Dame play ground and pound football. I don't want to see them airing it out and crap. That just doesn't feel like Notre Dame to me.
I mean, even though their receiver room, this is probably the best it's been since.
Oh no, Greathouse is a baller.
This might be their best receiver room in a long time. Let's see. Yeah, Greathouse, Jordan Faison, Malachi Fields. They got him over from Virginia. Yeah, they got some guys there, man. Jeremiah Love. I mean, the defense will be still really good. You bring back Drake Bowen, Jalen Sneed, and Bryce Young, Charlotte Christian product.
There you go.
Had to mention, but I curious to see how Carson Beck looks at Miami. I think they got some good pieces on both sides of the ball. I like that they got a new defense coordinator. They needed it bad. Kind of curious to see how Ruben Bain comes off an injury because he's a dog.
He's a good player.
He's a game wrecker when he's healthy. That one is Notre Dame -2.5, I believe.
Yeah, I'm still going to go Notre Dame.
I'm torn. Like Cristobal in a big game, or
punt from 4th and 1 on his own on Notre Dame's 45.
Yeah. God, that's tough. I don't know.
Dude, just pay against your old coach. It's chill.
It's chill. Oh, trust me, I will. I just, I think the experience of Carson Beck helps.
Yeah, but who's he going to throw the ball to?
Gosh, that is a good question. Who they got? Josiah Trader. I think he's been banged up though. He's supposed to be like their guy. They brought in a couple transfers from FAU, and then I think they brought in a kid from BYU who's pretty solid. I don't know, man. I'll probably go with Notre Dame just because I trust them a little bit more. So I'll go Notre Dame -2.5, but I don't know if I'm going to bet on that one. But yeah, are you taking Notre Dame too, right?
Yeah, I just talked myself into taking Notre Dame.
All right, so we're on the same wavelength there. Forgot to mention, want to go over UNC TCU real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to go again. I really don't know what North Carolina has. I don't know. So I know Gio Lopez is going to be the starter, but I like what TCU has. I think Josh Hoover is a freaking gunslinger. I think they're going to have an improved run game from last year. I think Eric McAllister, receiver, is one of the better receivers in the Big 12. And then this kid, Manjack, he's going to be a ball player. I think Jordan Wright from Idaho is going to be good. I like the weapons they got. I think Bryles schemes it up. I think it's a closer game. I think TCU finds a way 31-24.
I like that. Yeah, I want to see how, again, Josh Hoover, another one of those guys who's going into year two, what that bump looks like. Got a lot of second-year quarterbacks going into this year. It's going to be exciting to see. Kind of like you're saying, they got some new pieces on receiver, how those guys kind of getting brought into the offense. I like what Kendall Browse does. Like you were saying, UNC, who the heck, like it's just like a hodgepodge of transfers. Who's going to start? I'll ride with TCU. I think the spread is TCU -3.
Yeah, it's TCU. I'll take TCU.
I'll take TCU to cover that one. I think it'll be an exciting game. Fun.
For sure.
But yeah, so that kind of does it for week one. I'm excited, man.
Let's watch some football, dude. It's about time.
We got the steak, the ribeye, medium rare with potatoes au gratin. We got done with the charcuterie board. I'm ready to eat.
Yeah, I'm excited.
All right, brother. Well, got any other thoughts you want to go over?
I got a big dynasty game. I'm really nervous. So prayers up for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I got a tough opponent. But yeah, man, I think that about does it. Yeah, go make sure to follow us on our Insta and TikTok. We're going to be posting content, especially this week, live content. Look out for that. And yeah, so thank you guys for tuning in, and peace out.